one of this best of three. And let's see what's going to happen. We kick it off to the top left-hand side of the map with the Blue Protoss player from Psystorm Gaming. It's Strange. Bottom right, Red Terran player from EC Visualize. It's InZaNe. So he is still on EC Visualize. It's been a while since I've seen him. Again, sort of talked about this in the first series of the day, but it's been a while since we've seen InZaNe play, so I wasn't quite completely sure or so. And as we set up into this, and again, just see how things will develop over the next few moments. So let me know who you're cheering on, of course. If you're cheering on InZaNe, if you're cheering on Strange, I would love to know. I'd love to know if there's anyone in particular you want to see doing well throughout this series or so. So hit me up with that information. Let me know what's up. Let me know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and so on. So yeah, let me know who you're cheering. Let me know if you want to see that Strange versus Stefano rematch, perhaps, coming on up in the next series. Or let me know if you want to see maybe more of Stefano's ZVT. I InZaNe win this series too. Again, after this Group A, which is, again, this series and the next one. Then we do have Group C we'll be bringing you guys. Group D will be broadcast by Base Raid. We'll bring you guys Group C, which is Puck, Sword of, Showtime, and Braddock, I would like to say. As you see this probe just being nibbled away at by these couple of SCVs. Still a bit of nibbling ongoing at the moment. A little bit of nibbling. And there's going to be seeing the CC dropping down onto the natural expansion. So CC drops down onto the natural. Reaper is indeed on the way up from InZaNe as well. And this SCV continue to come in back towards the upper left-hand side here. So heading back up towards the upper left, we see a pylon building here from Strange as well. And yeah, Cybercore just going to finish up too. Just going to see Warpgate finishing, or starting, sorry. First TVP of the day. We actually cast a lot of TVP yesterday when we were casting the WardiTV weekly. We had TVP semi-finals and finals, so we cast 2 best of 3s and a best of 5 of it, and well, it was pretty, nothing really too crazy. We saw some more aggressive plays from the pros players lately. We saw a lot of aggressive kind of adepts and so on from Hurricane yesterday, which was definitely intriguing. Interested to see how that perhaps develops, as this Reaper just going to pull away over to the right-hand side of the map, and InZaNe continue to just scout around, looking for proxies, looking to see if Strange is just trying to try and pick up a quick advantage in this game number 1 of the series. Doesn't want him to, of course, get away with that, just wants to make sure. And he could, of course, go across the map with the Reaper again, and that's the problem, though. If you go across the map with the Reaper, what's the likelihood you get it and you see what you need to see? Well, it's kind of low, because Overcharge can be used, that Reaper doesn't get up here, Adept is there. It's difficult, so it's better to check for the proxies first and then probably try a bit later to jump in to see that tech. And it also just helps you kind of just confirm that you will see tech, just to make sure it's going to be finishing. And there's not going to be any shenanigans. It will go up into the main. It's probably the one direction, the one route he could have taken to avoid the overcharge and actually be able to get out of here. Nice little grenade to just disrupt the mining slightly. You'll see an overcharge popped, but he's already seen the robo facilities, so you know, InZaNe sees this, realizes it's pretty standard. Probably see a Twilight Council to go alongside the robo. Obviously, if you go for a robo facility, you're generally going to be looking towards a ground-based army and ground-based units right from the get-go, which means that you want a Twilight, because without a Twilight, how are you going to make those gateway units effective? You know, you need the Twilight to get the blink up or the resonating glaives. It could be either or of those 2 options. As you do see this observer moving down to the south side of the map. Still a couple of wood mines just in this medevac as well. Going to move up the right hand side, and again just going to be looking to get into position, looking to get some damage done with this in the near future. And Stalker coming up as well. Just going to be seeing the factory moving on over, and just going to drop on down. Drops on down. Good stuff. Yeah, Resonating Glaives on the way up here from Strange. It's nice. Just going to go into that initially, going to be his initial tech for this game really then. A little bit of Warp Prism play with the Glaives. Glaved Adepts can be always frustrating, of course, and you never know if you're just slightly out of position when those Adepts are suddenly just going to start tearing apart a mineral line. So you do have to be very on point as InZaNe right now. Just make sure you're not going to let those Adepts get in when they shouldn't be getting in, and all the rest of it as well. As Strange, just a very standard follow-up to Double Forge with Robo Bay. This feels like PvT a few months ago, before we sort of saw the Phoenix Adept style. Maybe not a few months ago, a couple of months ago. just kind of prior to the Phoenix Adept style really becoming super popular and being used in pretty much every single game of PvT. Which is to take a much later third Nexus and to build up into Colossi very quickly. So you have kind of 1 to 2 Colossi when you try to take the third base. And it just means you have a very powerful army. You can even turn it into an aggressive kind of attack with the Colossi of the 3 bases, because you just have that tech so much sooner than what Protoss players play with usually, which is to kind of build with, play with just gateway units and then tech onto the 3 bases. 3 extra gates being added on, this is kind of very aggressive for 2 bases now. I mean, we're talking about 6 gates in total. But again, I mean, the idea is to be very safe and very secure on 2 bases before you take the third with this build. So that's exactly what we do see Strange going for. Prism to the left-hand side hasn't done anything too much just yet, as InZaNe will, with the stim pack and combat shields, the +1 also for himself, finishing in the near future. He'll begin to push up the right-hand side, wants to try and get himself into a position where he's going to be able to take advantage of whatever is happening here, of whatever is going on. Marauder, we'll get rid of that Zealot and continuing up this right-hand side, but there's the Adepts. I mean, this third CC right away is probably just going to be cancelled. A few Zealots too, some better damage onto that CC, and then he'll just lift up and continue to look for further harassment. At the front, first Colossus is here. No upgrades just yet though for the Protoss player, so there's some opportunity for InZaNe, but he doesn't have, just quite a lot of Marines. Where's the MSC? All the way over in the main base. There's a possibility. I think if he realized the MSC was so far away, he probably could get into this and dive onto that Colossus, but he's waited a little bit too long now. Now the overcharge does come down. He didn't have stim. Okay, well, then it makes a lot of sense for him to wait. If he had stim sooner, then he could have stimmed on top, but of course, without stim, you're not really going to do much. So it makes sense. I mean, InZaNe just going to sit back. He knows it's still 2 bases, and so he knows just to play a little bit safe for himself. He's going to have seen the Colossus, so he goes into a faster second starport than what you would usually expect it to be. Viking production starts as well, which means that it is important to keep these medevacs alive. If you're going to start building Vikings now and not build further medevacs, then generally you do need to make sure that you keep your initial medevacs alive. Otherwise you're going to be in that weird situation where you don't quite have the right setup that you need if you don't have enough Vikings or you don't have enough medevacs. As we're going to see another load up, by the way. Moving across the map once again, there's Prism still around. Pretty much the only map presence and control for Strange at this point in time. As this word of mine did pick up a kill on a first probe that came over here. Second probe, it might be an Adept that came over here actually, but either way, picked up a kill. Will now get cleaned out. As InZaNe is here with this arm. He's going to stim in. He's going to look for the opportunity. He's going to go for Colossus number 1. Nice pullback by Strange. Meanwhile, the drop going towards the main base boosts forwards, but Strange has seen it with the Observer, and there's overcharges available. There's no way InZaNe makes progress over here. Not a chance. It's unfortunate, because if these medevacs had come up over here, maybe he could have got a good surround. But either way, I mean, I guess Strange would have seen it, because he has very good map control all of a sudden with these Zealots. So that's all because of this Warp Prism. The Warp Prism doing so much here. Looks like the Prism actually just got chased away and cleaned out, but it was doing so much. Getting the Zealots on the map, taking the Watchtowers because of it, slowing down the third base from being taken. As InZaNe will now drop that third base down. As the third base actually comes in at a timing which is pretty powerful, pretty strong, I would say. The third base is going to drop on down to the left side here, and as the third base drops down, we're in that sort of position where he's mining from it before the third base of Protoss is finished, which isn't happening in every game nowadays. Marines and Marauders will continue up the left-hand side, and Observer 2 from Strange, looking to see where you can get to, and plenty of Vikings still around, seeing where they can go also. I mean, again, his Viking count's pretty good. Like, 9 Vikings, he's against triple Colossus. There's 2 here, and there's 1 more joining in. Is there still 1 in the main? No, it is just 3. One of them is very heavily damaged already, so the 9 Vikings is a pretty good number. Generally, you want 3 to 4 Vikings per Colossus. 12 being the real magical number of Vikings for the most part, so just dart in here. He's going to go and get a shot off, and he's going to be able to kill 1 Colossus right away. The second Colossus goes down quickly too. Strange is just losing all of his tech. Not enough Stalkers to really protect, and now the Bio obviously is able to start fighting itself. A blink forwards from some of these Stalkers. The Vikings will not just drop down onto the ground now. They will do a little bit more tanking, add a little bit of extra damage, of course. The more you trade out, the better. Generally is InZaNe. Can't believe he's being pushed away after trading so well against the Colossi. I mean, the Colossi just disappeared, and they basically did nothing. Yet he still has to pull back here. Good pushback from it, Strange. Of course, I guess the real issue for Strange is when more bio units keep on coming out. And I guess also the upgrades is one of the big reasons. Didn't realize that Strange was already on 2-2. Super late +2/+2 from InZaNe. In fact, still only on a single engineering bay. Wow, so he's going to have very bad upgrades in comparison to his opponent. That's why he's struggling so much on the ground already. So upgrades will be a big deal of this, and obviously just Strange not slowing down at all. That final set of upgrades is already being chrono boosted out of his 2 forges in the back of the main. So, I mean, the nice thing for InZaNe is that he has reset the tech. It gives him a chance to build up the Liberator account a bit, which is going to be very powerful. And the power of those Liberators really can offset the fact that you're behind on upgrades, so that can be something he looks towards. As again, Marines, Marauders to the left-hand side, seeing where else they can get to. These Adepts going to start shading as well. We're going to see a couple of tech labs dropping down on these racks. You do see the Adepts just picking up a couple of SCVs. The 2 SCVs do fall. You're going to see these Marines and Marauders just going to stem back over here as a lot of Adepts, a lot of SCV kills going down. He's actually just going to keep on fighting SCVs. I mean, to be fair, it's working out. 13, 14 kills. Meanwhile, push comes in over here, and there is those Liberators we were talking about to help offset that upgrade disadvantage. I mean, the Stalker count is disappearing with still 2 Liberators up in the sky. In the end, he still has to lift up and back away. And we just drop to the other side of this here as the Liberator is not going to stop that army exactly kind of getting back in a position. We'll see a Colossi chase down into the main. It's actually going very well for InZaNe. A good couple of trades in the last few moments. This Liberator is still in an interesting spot as he'll pick off the Forges too. I mean, that is huge, right? I mean, getting rid of +3 armor. Will he be able to get +3 attack as well? I think he will. Adepts come in, they'll start to fight this. It's close, but it does go down. Double Forge killed. Certainly is just a single upgrade disadvantage for the Terran player. He's now got a Liberator on this base to the top right-hand side as well. A few units picking away. And InZaNe, a fantastic 2 minutes of this game. Or not even 2 minutes, just a fantastic minute. Suddenly everything for Strange is falling apart. You know, he's got a Liberator, which he's actually still losing stuff to. There is like sentries to kind of be anti-air. That's not really ideal. I mean, it's just so slow. These probes trying to get back to mine, losing even more of them. This Liberator was huge over in this position. Having lost the Forges just slows him down in upgrades and gives InZaNe further potential to keep on fighting in the near future. As we'll see the Medivacs even boosting away from the Stalkers. Not a single shot taken. Another victory for InZaNe. As again, this was so good for him now. I mean, what does Strange do? He's got a lot of money in the bank. I mean, getting your kind of refund on free will give you a lot of money to suddenly spend. He's going to start pushing out here. A few more Stalkers coming into play will allow him to kind of be a bit better against the Liberators. Where are the Medivacs? There's like no Medivacs at all. There's the 2 of them that we just saw previously. You can see this army going to start coming on in, and InZaNe just goes for the fight. The Liberators will siege up very late onto this army. In fact, very late indeed, as a little bit of a surround to the south side. Is this just a little bit too messy from InZaNe, perhaps? The Stalker's blinking forwards. There's still a very close trade towards the end, but InZaNe is the one pushed back. Suddenly, Strange has won a huge fight here. And InZaNe just getting caught fighting in a position he didn't want to be in. I mean, I think one of the big things is the fact the Liberators took so long to siege up as well. 2 of them kind of went down before they even got a shot off. And then he just had some units running in from the south that didn't really add anything to the fight either, so wow, InZaNe was in such a great position. Now suddenly he's in this position where he's really going to struggle to kind of stay in this. I mean, he just lost so much. Out of nowhere, he just got into a real tough situation. Free upgrades from Strange still on the way up here now. You can see the Medivac moving up towards the upper left-hand side. Medivac gets picked off. Nice overcharges here. Does defend the Medivac to the side as well. And then all of a sudden, Strange is starting to just bat away every single attempt from InZaNe to do damage. And InZaNe's army really isn't what it used to be. I mean, it's barely anything. A few Marines, a couple of Marauders, 2 Vikings. It's just not enough. And the lack of Liberators won't help him out. The CC, this plant tree, is going to die as well very quickly. And the workers just keep on dropping. Meanwhile, also, Prism was just back in the main base as well, getting a few more kills. And things just fine. Bottom right-hand side of the map. Again, I feel as though you can look at the last game and learn a lot and take a lot away from it, probably. I think you can realize the things that went well for him. I think you can realize probably what went wrong. And so I think he's got a good shot here in game number 2. Blue's a Terran player from EC Visualize. So the bottom right-hand side of the map is InZaNe. Bottom left-hand side from Psystorm Gaming. Strange. So we set up into game 2 of this best of 3. loser match now of Group A of the competition. And again, today we're going to be bringing you guys 3 of the groups. Today we start with Group A. We move into Group C, I think we're going to be covering next on our stream. And then we still haven't decided in the last 4 groups as they play at the same time, or if they don't. Whatever happens there will sort of determine what we begin to cast later as well, obviously. So I'm going to keep you guys up to date as I get updates and information as to what other streams might be casting, and try and let you guys know what I'll be casting as well, to bring you guys all of the action. SCV comes in, battles this probe away, Reaper on the way out, and just going to be throwing down the CC in the next few moments. InZaNe, nothing ridiculous or crazy in the first stages of the game. And you can say the same about Strange across the map. Nexus is on the way down, his cybernetics core begins to build a bit of an exposed location perhaps to drops early in the game. The reason you build up like this, by the way, in general, is to kind of create a wall to your mineral line. Generally you want to kind of wall away, make it more difficult for a Reaper to move through, etc. So that's something. It could also kind of create a wall to the mineral line from drops if they do drop into kind of this location and stim at the mineral line. Obviously on UK you got all this area kind of in the sky to kind of worry about as well though, so like a drop like this could just avoid that and sort of negate that. A little bit of a SimCity. It is interesting. I think SimCity is one of the things that really a lot of the time goes unnoticed in games, unless, you know, obviously certain things get noticed, like, oh my god, he's blocked all those units in, or OMG, he's got a wall against the lings. Like, I think a lot of niche little things kind of really add up. And while they don't always kind of every single game come into play and sort of help you, a lot of the time they do, and that's why players will be very consistent with how they SimCity, how they build up their production, where they place that production, and so on, just to make the most of it every single time. Because the position of buildings really can ruin your day, it can make your day, it can have quite a large impact on a lot of games sometimes. But Deb going to chase down this Reaper. Reaper coming away to the side, and I mean the Shade's going to keep on chasing, but the Reaper can jump down a ledge. He's going to overcharge, and that's going to be pretty nice for now. So cleans the Reaper out. Reaper facility is still on the way up. And we'll now finish Observer. He'll start coming in. And so far from Strange, really just replicating his build order from game number 1. The Robo into Triple Gate, probably the Twilight Council shortly. I mean, this time he could go into Blink rather than Resonating Glaives. I don't feel the Glaives really did much for him in the last game. He did come in and cancel the 3rd CC, I've got to say that, but he could have done the exact same with Stalkers and Blink if InZaNe was so far out of position. So, I mean, either or, it depends what you're comfortable with, it depends what you want to do and just what you feel the better way to open is. I mean, some players like the Blink to help defend against drops when they play against this playstyle right from the get-go. Players like Strange might just prefer to put some Adepts in the Prism and go to Harass from the very early stages of the game as well. I mean, both are completely viable options, so we'll see which option is going to come through this time around. As again, a couple of racks just on the way up from InZaNe. He's actually gone for a very different build order here. He's gone for the triple CC, so he's going to play a very greedy opener. 3 command centers very quickly. He's going to have a lot of SCV production, but most importantly, he's going to have that extra mule every 50 energy. And Strange, as he comes in now with the Observer, he will see this, and you'll see that this is going to be a bio-heavy opening from his opponent as well. So Observer does get scanned down. I wonder if Strange adapts. I wonder if Strange says, okay, I'm going to throw down like 10 extra gates and kill you. Or I wonder if Strange says, okay, I'm just going to take my 3rd Nexus. I don't have to be, as worried about that. And you see a Widowmine in position there, which will block this. And again, it's another nice little thing from InZaNe. Just going to be slowing Strange down. There we go. Widowmine goes off. It's a probe kill, and yeah, I'm just going to slow the 3rd base just slightly. Not by too much, just a few moments here as the Stalker comes in to respond. And the Robobait coming down. So we do see Strange still in the end heading towards the same sort of situation, the same sort of scenario. The Stalker just prodding away at this Widowmine. It's going all the way. He is running, man. He is running. Sadly, an Observer over here as well means he can't run forever, even if he tries to burrow and hide. It wouldn't work out for him. There's the Prism then coming across the map. It was once again the Glaives upgrade being chosen by Strange, which means again he'll try and harass into the... Well, the Prism goes a very different direction to on Velshia Vestige, obviously. Yeah, here on this map it's going to go straight towards the main base. On Velshia it's kind of sat to the left-hand side where the 4th might have been taken, and then he went in towards the 3rd base to harass, so a bit of a different setup this time. To be fair, if the 3rd base comes down here from InZaNe, then he's in position to kind of harass both really by having the Prism in this location. Obviously, I mean, InZane's not going to build a third base in location either, so the Adepts are more likely to get damage done in the main, rather than a third base, which is not going to have as many SCVs on it. Strange with his own third Nexus on the way up then. I mean, considering he is playing the Colossi and Double Forge playstyle, this is a much faster third Nexus than what you might expect, just as a response to the faster 3CC from InZane himself. And that's probably just going to allow him to, basically Strange just delayed his own gateways. So instead of going up to 6 gates, he's going up into the 3 Nexus. And then he'll go into the gateways to kind of follow up with, as again, he feels as though he'll be safe. He knows how fast the third goes from InZane, and so because of that, InZane can't have as much army as he would have had in, say, the last game, at this sort of 6-minute 40-second timing. Now the back's still just going to be joining up in the skies, and you see them healing up these Marines and Marauders. Strange just coming down the ramp a couple of moments here and looking around himself, wants to see what's going on. Blink is on the way up on the Twilight, and yeah, I mean, Zane just kind of taking it slowly, knocks down these this cooling tower, just allowing him to block off a little bit of a potential access point over here, the Prism. Not doing anything at all. I mean, right now InZane does have units well positioned, just turn a Prism away. Doesn't want any sort of harassment to come in towards him. Just again wants to play his game, wants to get into the later stages, and doesn't want to die on his way to that point, of course, which is obvious. I mean, if you're playing to win, then dying generally doesn't go very well with that sort of strategy. 2 Medivacs just still up in the skies, and again the extra gate's going to be finishing up in the next few moments in the back of this main base. 4 Vikings currently on the way out. Plus 1 armor in the engineering bay for the Terran player. He'll be on 1-1 soon. I really hope this time InZane goes into the second engineering bay and the armory, because he really, I mean, he still is going to fall behind on upgrades because Double Forge 2-2 is being chrono boosted still. But I really hope he does go into the second engineering bay this time, so that at least he isn't as far behind, because he definitely didn't need to be as far behind as he was in the last game. Just throwing, lacking the armor upgrade doesn't really, there's no real excuse for it. More Vikings join up to the south side. A lot of the Marine Marauder pushing through the center. 3 Marines coming in and trying to chase that Adept away. Actually, Adept will just about somehow manage to escape to the side here. Vikings still up in the skies. Let's see what they can do. I mean, there's only 2 Colossi here. I mean, with the early Viking production, he's again going to have the anti-air he needs against these Colossi. Here he goes, simming forwards, and the Colossi will fall very quick as InZane starts to spread on out. The Depth shading forwards. The Depth's not in the best position to begin with, very much so caught up in the back and not really adding as much to the fight as they might expect. This fight was better from InZane than the kind of fight last time in the last game, because there's no 2-2 upgrades yet from Strange, so InZane is able to trade a lot more effectively and efficiently. Even after the Colossi go down, which was not the case last time around. We're going to see him turn the fight here with reinforcements. Vikings have landed as well. These Adepts find themselves in a bit of trouble. And Zane pushes that away. Marauder's still chasing down. Another Adept does get picked off here. With 2-2 upgrades still coming through, Strange is going to be finishing those up shortly. As we do have the Bioforces just sitting in the center of the map. Still pushing forwards. We're going to see a Liberator, we'll see Jump, and probably will think about just splitting up these units to try and do a little bit more. And the +2/+2 is about to finish up from Cross though, and that is going to be the stage where you probably do need Liberators or just something which is very powerful to offset the power of the upgrades that Strange is going to have on his side. So, and the thing is, again, Zane is not really going into 2-2 upgrades of his own just yet. And he's kind of gassed off because he is kind of cranking up the Liberator production, which I like it a lot. But, again, upgrades are still going to be a major part of the game. Unless his Liberators really can just do so much. I like this position up here, taking the high ground, just playing this slowly. Getting rid of the Assimilator, taking this position. Another Liberator comes forward. Is he going to commit into this? It looks as though Strange wants to fight. Another Liberator sieges up. The Stalkers haven't blinked forwards. Obviously going to try and fight this right away. You're going to see another Colossi in the back, and Vikin's actually going to land, maybe not realizing that Colossi is there in time. Strange, another blink forwards is going to make the most of it. Every Viking will drop down out of the sky now as they only just retook the skies, but and then pushing forwards, this Liberator does not do enough before it gets taken down. A Depth shade forwards. They're a little bit out of position with the way they went up to the high ground, but they'll be able to push forwards. Libera's just sieging up, burrowing towards the front right now, and again the Prism with a few adepts inside is just going to keep on coming in through to the top right hand side, seeing what else he can get up to. This 4th base going to float on over into position towards the upper right hand side as well, and the free upgrades still coming through from Strange also. So he's going into the next set of upgrades. I mean, InZaNe will at least get the 4th up. At least he'll be able to kind of get that going for himself. It's again another little advantage to help him out. In the meantime, you can just see that the army of Strange is still pretty powerful, but he doesn't have a 4th base yet, which he'll maybe be moving in towards shortly. As we'll see, the Stalkers are going to find themselves a Liberator kill. That's a bit of an interesting one. Meanwhile, Zealots from the Prism doing some good damage. 18 workers killed, 19 workers killed. Obviously not just Zealots, but some Adepts as well. He's even with the 2-2 upgrades against 1-1, fighting very nicely against the Marines, which are over here. Finally going to get cleaned out, but 23 SCVs lost. Again, InZaNe struggling to kind of keep up in terms of all of this aggression that's going on from his opponent time and time again. Libera still siege towards the front there, and more units will just join up towards the north. Setting up on up once more. I mean, Strange will still maintain an entire set of upgrade lead with the 2-2 finishing for InZaNe in the next few moments, or at least the +2 attack armor is a little bit delayed. But the fact that 3-3 is just seconds away from Strange means that he really is in this position, which is just going to be so difficult to do much more from. Pushing forwards then, let's see what Strange can get up to. Again, a lot of Adepts, a few Stalkers, a lot of Stalkers actually. I mean, a very basic army when it comes to like Colossi plus Gateway units. But with the upgrade lead especially, it's effective, it can trade well, and it might just be what shuts InZaNe out of this game right now. As he tries to get at what he can. I mean, he doesn't have many Vikings, he has a few. He doesn't have many Liberators, but he also has a few. Stalker blinks forward, sees what's up. You see this missile turret over here getting taken down as well. Stalker still pushing forwards, another blink. And get rid of that Liberator almost instantly. Another couple Liberators getting taken down. Force fields in the back just to stop the bio from running backwards. That's how confident Strange is about this fight and about his engagement. He keeps on engaging, and again, I think the upgrades are one of the major issues that InZaNe just hasn't found a way around in game 1 or in game number 2. And it's going to be the same story here. And the set of upgrade lead makes it so difficult for InZaNe to fight against this Boros army. I mean, there's other things as well. Generally, the game was